Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It's Friday, May 22nd when I'm recording this. Hope you guys are doing well. It has been a fantastic week. I hope you guys have been able to ride some of anything that has happened this week because there were a lot of good movers out there. We're certainly benefiting from it, and yeah, hope you guys are having a good time with it. If not, if you're struggling or if you're looking for more ideas, just remember to come over to my trading room. You can do $7 trial for 30 days over at simplertrading.com/Moxie. All right, I'm going to do this presentation a little bit differently, so we'll see how this goes. But the kind of a little rundown of how things have gone this week. This is just a small snippet of what's been moving out there for us. Riley up 41% from our entries so far. So that one's just easy peasy. It's been a little bit slow, but you know, quietly crept up to 41%. DXYZ, kind of in anticipation of the SpaceX IPO, you can see we are up 122% on that one. So that's been pretty fun as well. NOW ServiceNow, we cashed in half of our options position for 230%. We also cashed in half of our stock position on NOWL, 44%. Velo, this is a 3D printing company. This was at the suggestion or idea of one of the subscribers in the Moxie room. We looked at it over the last few weeks. I thought, yep, that looks great. And had it handle a little bit of noise, then earnings, and then a pullback. And now this thing is making new highs. We're up 71% on that. And it seems like it's got plenty of room to go to the upside. BLDP, it's part of the Bloom Energy F-Cell alternative fuel to power all the data centers using natural gas as fuel cells, all that. So that's been really good. That's 115%. That's been a pretty good mover this week, along with Bloom Energy breaking out as well. And then NVTS, the semiconductors continue to get going. Probably because NVIDIA had earnings now. NVIDIA itself, yeah, it's down, I think, 3.5% from earnings, probably because it's all been baked into the cake. So everybody expected really good earnings. Yeah, okay, buy the rumor, sell the news. But that showed that the rest of the semiconductor atmosphere or ecosystem is still in high demand, and something like NVTS, we're up 200% from our original entry on that one. So that one's been pretty cool. The other one that I really got out of was BWXT. That's more in the uranium nuclear kind of situation. I still think this is going to come back, but I think what happened was I was really trying to give it as much room to breathe, and then it had a dividend, and the dividend kind of plopped us down, and then it actually came back after the dividend. So I think I kind of swiped on that one. I'm still looking at it. I will probably get back into this one at some point because it's actually kind of right back to where it was 3 or 4 days ago. So that was only a 12% loss on that one. Okay, so some of the things that we're looking at for what's been going on with this market is we've had more positive Iran news. Okay, I think that this is pretty much what some traders like us have been expecting, because if you know Trump, he's like probably wanting to get out of this. And again, not being political, but he's been kind of messaging like, hey, we're going to get wrapped up, we're going to be out of this, we're going to be negotiating. I understand if you read the news and the headlines, it's been this, that, back and forth, confusion, all that kind of stuff. But really, if you probably just ignore the news and just be like, they're probably going to get something resolved, then that's what we've been seeing this week. And that's been a nice bounce after we had a pullback last week. Breadth has been turning up. This is another good thing. I will show you guys what this looks like. But what we've been seeing is we know that the market, the up move was led by the semiconductors, and underneath the surface, yes, more and more stocks were pulling back. But now, as of this week, we're actually starting to see breadth turn back up, and the rest of the market is getting into gear. And the best way to see that is if you look at RSP, which is the equal weight of the S&P, that is making new all-time highs as of today. So I'll be showing you guys some charts about that. All right, and then we'll go through kind of over the 30,000 foot view, and I'll show you some stocks through here. I just want you guys to know, look at the last video that I made midweek. I'll put a little sticker up at the top that you guys can click in. But it's going to be 5 agricultural stocks that you guys should know about. We are in one of them, and I'm looking at maybe getting another one as well. And yeah, I think that's still going to be a strong area, even with a resolution in Iran, and even with the Strait of Hormuz opening up at some point. I still think these things are going to look pretty good. So keep an eye on them. All right. Having some fun with creating some slides through AI and all this. One of the other things that we're going to be talking about, and this is something that I posted on X, I commented on it in the Moxie room. You guys probably all know that there's this correlation between oil prices and airlines, and that's because airlines, their single biggest expenditure is fuel, and they're the most sensitive to that. So oil prices go up, airline stocks go down. The interesting thing about this, and I'll show you guys this coming up, is that even though oil prices have continued to climb higher, kind of crawl higher, we've actually been seeing airline stocks putting in higher lows, and they've actually been looking like they're doing pretty well and holding up. And I think that's because those market participants are thinking that, again, this is kind of shortly lived, and that oil prices will come back down at some point. And so I think they're kind of keeping positions in there. It's kind of building it back up, because if oil comes down, airlines should go up. So I think that's one sector, if you guys are interested, and you could look into for some gains. And then also the importance of why having RSP, the equal weight, actually make new highs today is important. Because if you look compared to what we were seeing at the beginning stages of this rally, it was basically the mega caps. We know it was something like 8 or 10 stocks that were lifting the market, the biggest ones. And so, yeah, there were things going up, but really the biggest lift was done by the biggest stocks, and only a handful of them, 8 to 10. But now what we're starting to see, at least through my eyes, is that we're actually getting a resurgence of the rest of the market coming in. So the S&P 493 instead of the Mag 7 are now starting to rise, and that is a good, healthy market. That means the strength is coming out of other areas and coming back into the rest of the market, and that means we're going to start seeing, I think, just more participation, more names to choose from, and more things that are going to help carry this market to, I think, new highs at some point. So let's dive into the tickers that I'm showing you guys. So SPX right here. Now, I've been looking for the SPX to come into the daily 21, which it has not yet, and it may not exactly touch the 21, and that's because, remember, the SPX is between the IWM and the NASDAQ. Well, the NASDAQ's super strong, but then the IWM was down, and so you get something in the middle, and so that's kind of what's happening here. I do think that we are up here now again at a double top. So that was the dip. That was the nice recover to the upper highs. And at some point, I think we should be expecting a little bit of a pullback, probably early next week. The market stayed up going into the 3-day weekend. So again, remember, guys, Memorial Day weekend on Monday. And so I would love to see some back end filling. Maybe one way that'll kind of look like is if you come over to anywhere here is like this. You can see here that the SPX kind of didn't make new highs for a while, but it kind of dipped, whatever, and eventually went higher. So I think we just need a little bit more sideways consolidation. So I really wouldn't worry about the fact that the SPX can't make a new high right now, or it's going to be pulling back, or we get some down days. I think we're mostly going to be in some choppy sideways flag action as far as the index goes, but underneath the surface, we're having an absolute field day, as you guys can see by some of the numbers that we're turning in for our stocks. Okay, so then let's look at the RSP. And here you go. Look at that. New highs. New all-time highs. And like I said, here was a nice flag, kind of what I'm saying about the SPX. Expect it to go sideways and digest for a little bit. And here we are now making new all-time highs. So yes, there could be a pullback early next week, but for the most part, we've got a squeeze on the daily chart. Price is coming up into an uptrending daily 50. The Moxie Indicator is above zero. This is fantastic. This is the kind of stuff that I love to see as a market participant and a trader who likes to trade a lot of names. We've got a lot of things starting to move up, and I think that means we got a lot of abundance. So if you guys need to make sure you have these trade ideas, want to jump on what these things are, remember simplertrading.com/Moxie. Click the link below, and remember that this is for educational purposes only. Okay, so then we look at the NASDAQ. Basically the same story. Things got kind of overbought. Then they kind of pulled back, and now they're back up at the highs. Yeah, okay, maybe it'll keep pushing, but I really think you should just at least be okay that this might just chop sideways for a little bit. So whatever that means to you, I think that the major indices are going to mostly go sideways for a while as they kind of digest the big move that has been running for the last couple months. And if you look at the IWM, this is kind of another indication of what we're seeing. It had a pretty deep pullback, but we also recovered, no problem. So, deep pullback right back up. And the IWM, being that it is small caps, the fact that it came back with so much strength is also good. So I think there are a lot of good things that are showing us out there that maybe a little consolidation, but the market's probably going to go higher at some point. So that's IWM. If you look at SMH, same basic story. This one you can see it did actually come down to the daily 21 and then bounce. Again, let's see if we get a pullback next week and kind of what that looks like. And then ARKK, if you look at this, I think I said in the video that I wouldn't be surprised if price comes down to the daily 50. It exactly came down to the daily 50. Now we just see if this is trying to digest this little thing in through here, and maybe eventually we can go higher. That's more or less what I look through. It could go a little bit lower, sure. We'll have to see what this pullback looks like this coming week, but otherwise I think this is mostly flagging sideways and hopefully going to resolve to the upside. All right, let's take a look at breadth. This is, I have to refresh it. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, look at that. Nice big turnaround right there. Nice big turnaround. You can even see the 50-day getting on board with this. So that's looking great. And you can just look at this. You can see there's a really, really big difference. Even though the SPX doesn't look like there was much going on, or even the IWM, just kind of right back up to where it was, you can see that we have been having a lot of names pulling back underneath the surface, and then we finally got them to bounce back up. So this again is looking really, really good. And I think this is the reason why we have seen the RSP make new all-time highs right here, is because after a little sideways digestion, things are starting to catch support and move up. Now with the VIX and the UVIX, I was expecting the market to pull back. I was thinking that the SPX was going to pull back to the 21. It pulled back a little bit. It was very, very shallow. And so the VIX didn't bounce at all. In fact, the market went right back up, and so the VIX came right back down. So yeah, kind of wrong about that, but that's great because it helped us. We were already in all these positions. I was just saying, hey, be prepared in case there's a pullback. But yeah, so far nothing. So far nothing. And even at that, even if the VIX maybe bumps up a little bit, maybe the VIX just kind of goes sideways for a little bit and maybe goes lower at some point. So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this. Even the UVIX, looking at something like this, not much going on, which is great. Little bump, little bump, little bump, and you can see we're making new lows on the UVX. That's great. Even if we get a little bump, even if we bounce back up to the hourly 50 again, this kind of looks like it's just going to be a bump up into overhead resistance before it kind of rolls over again. So yeah, just not much to say about that, which is cool. Okay, then let's see, DXYZ. As we said, this is the SpaceX thing. It came down, caught a little bit of breadth. Look at that thing, just a little bit of a breather right into the daily 21 and right back up, and there's your Moxie price trigger right on cue back to the upside. You can even see there was a bit of a squeeze on the hourly chart, so we could kind of call that a double bottom, higher low, something like that. But that was a nice big move. So kind of for the last 2 or 3 days, let's see, right there was another 35% move right back up to previous highs. So DXYZ doing great. Everybody is anticipating the SpaceX IPO. Okay, then let's see, BLDP along with the fuel cells and how to power all of the data centers. This has also been pretty good, and there was a nice little level right here basically into the daily 21 and just kind of straight up. So let's see, that was kind of another 35%, actually another 35% straight up from there. And we've been in this thing since all the way down here. So you can see we have been up, there's 115% on that one. So yeah, very, very happy about that. Very excited. Lots of volume coming into that. Okay, then GNRC. This is kind of another one to demonstrate what's been going on out there, that this market is still pretty strong. I was actually waiting for a little bit more of a proper entry on this one. I could see that there was a pullback here, and I was going to make note of it and say like, maybe we should buy the dip, but I was going to wait for it to actually do something or kind of get a little bit more of a setup, but then it just popped and it gave me no opportunity. So this is what I'm seeing out there. Our dips are getting bought. And this is, you can see this, it went from back here, and just right back up. So if we can get any sort of pullback as a flag coming into next week, I think you should be looking at this and picking it up if you want, because GNRC just came back down like that and right back up. So very, very much in high demand and looking pretty strong out there as far as Generac. All right, Tesla. I want to put this one on here too. This is another indication that dips are getting bought in this market. You can see here it came down pretty hard. We took some profits off here, came down pretty hard, and it's almost right back to where it was before. You can see right into the daily 50 essentially. I would have liked to have added right at that spot, but at this point, again, I'm going to see if there are any kind of pullbacks coming up this week, and then I can add to it or start a different position or something like that. But yeah, pretty happy with the Tesla position as well. I think this will go higher. I know some people have been talking about out there and wondering if the SpaceX thing is going to take any interest or oomph away from Tesla. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. I honestly have no idea. I don't think we've necessarily been in this situation before, but I kind of have a feeling that Tesla is probably going to do just fine even with a SpaceX IPO. That's just my guess. All right, then USO. And one thing I'll point out here, this is based on my moving averages and stuff like this, I see that USO is running right into the underside of the monthly 200. It's going to be really interesting to see if that actually works out from a technical standpoint. If price actually runs into resistance exactly at that moving average and then comes back down, it's gonna just be very interesting. So we'll see. But yeah, oil has been extremely high. We know this. But if I were to look at this as any kind of normal stock, the rate of acceleration seems to have slowed down, and we are getting more negative divergence here. And I have a feeling that based on the Trump administration and negotiations and the Iran thing, I'm just not sure that this is going to keep going higher. And I think any kind of major resolution is probably going to cause this to start coming back down, which, as I said, if you guys look at jets, look at the airlines. So first off, it's been holding this trend line. So this was when oil went up, airlines went down. But interestingly, it has been making higher lows, even though oil continues to make higher highs. There's a bit of a disconnect there, not following inversely as it should. So I think that is a bit of a heads up. I think that is a market kind of trying to tell you that we don't think oil prices are going to stay up for this long, forever. So yeah, there's a little hint there if you guys want to do something related to these things. Okay, TLT. Now this is another thing that people talk about, and I think that maybe this is a contrarian opinion and a contrarian view. Interest rates have been rising. People are really worried about that. It is going to be bad for the market, the economy. Good luck talking about rate cuts. Now the Fed and everybody else are talking about rate hikes, which, we'll have to see how that happens. But I don't have an answer right now. But what I want to point towards is TLT is at this level, and it's been a pretty firm level. And notice this week, where did TLT bounce from? Right at that level. So what happens if this is really just an overall large double bottom and price actually doesn't continue going lower from here? What if it actually bounces? So what if the interest rates actually come down? What if TNX tops out and starts coming down? Wouldn't that be interesting? So let's give it a little bit of time, but yeah, you watch that, put this in your back pocket, and let's start watching what happens over the next few weeks and see how that goes. Okay, then XLF. I touched on this one on the last video as well. And you can see here, it looks to me like it is starting to break out right there. I think that the low or the pullback is in. I like that price has pulled back here. I like that there is a Moxie price trigger on the daily chart. And man, we were so close. That almost fired today. We'll see if that fires on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. But if you guys are interested in financials, whether you trade something or want to do something about that, but just the fact that I think the financials are starting to work out is another sector. Think about RSP, think about the equal weight, think about breadth. It's just another sector that is starting to turn up and look good. And you can see there's a pretty good squeeze on the daily chart. So this looks like an ideal Moxie pattern. Those of you who are in the Moxie room know exactly what I'm talking about and why we've been looking at this. And so far, I think that turn up today is demonstrating that price wants to go higher for the financials and anything kind of related to it. All right, guys. So thanks again. And remember, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie if you guys want to learn anything more about what I do. And remember, $7 for 30 days, and we'll see you guys in the room. Take care.